Just over a month ago, Rick Perry became a national candidate for office. And every week since then, we find more wrinkles in his perfectly tailored suit, don't we? This weekend, the Houston Chronicle reported that despite massive budget cuts in the state of Texas, taxpayers were still charged nearly $300,000 for things like a Perry family vacation in the Bahamas. Texans are seeing billions cut in public education, Medicaid, and other essential services, but they are on the hook for Perry's security detail while he relaxes on the beach, or while his wife takes solo trips to Amsterdam, Madrid, and New York. The Perry camp says Anita's Perry's trips were to promote economic development for the state of Texas. And Perry defends the cost to taxpayers, saying that he's promoting Texas no matter where he goes. But yesterday, Perry was promoting himself to one of the Republican Party's kingmakers. The New York Times reporting that Perry met with News Corp head honcho Rupert Murdoch last night. Perry was in New York raising money, and in a Citizens United world, he knows Rupert Murdoch's pockets are enormously deep and important. Joining me tonight is Huffington Post contributor Jim Moore. He's the author of the upcoming book, Adios Mofo, Why Rick Perry Will Make America Miss George W. Bush. Jim, great to have you with us tonight. These expenses, first of all, what do you make of the meeting between Rupert Murdoch and the governor of Texas? How important was this?
Well, when I first heard about that, I was thinking maybe he's setting him up for a television program after he loses the election. Who knows? But obviously, this is a guy whose favor he wants to curry, because Murdoch's reach in this country, obviously with Fox News, his network, his publications, is very wide, and he wants to curry favor with him. Anything that the network, the Fox network, broadcast, Perry wants it to be good news, and he doesn't want anything to be critical. So I think it's a combination of things. He's got a lot of friends who can raise a lot of money, as well as exposing Rick Perry to a lot of positive publicity.
Well, last week it was Donald Trump in New York with Governor Perry, and I think that was all about the governor saying, hey, dude, don't go on TV and badmouth me. You know, I'm one of the good guys. I'm going to lower your taxes. And now here he is meeting with Rupert Murdoch. It's all kind of part of the process. But what about these vacation expenses? Is this something that could come back to haunt Perry? And do you think that the other candidates in the Republican field, especially in the debate coming up on Thursday night, will they make hay of it?
If they don't, they're foolish, because Rick Perry, if nothing else, Ed, is guilty of exceedingly bad form. When the state that you are managing is in such deep financial trouble, and you're out running around the country doing things that are strictly political, and you are asking the taxpayers of Texas to pay for your security while you're raising tens of millions of dollars, it is profoundly hypocritical. At a minimum, the guy could write a check for $300,000 to pay the taxpayers back, and it would make no dent in the amount of money he's paying. Now, this has happened in Texas before. It happened with George Bush. The state of Texas provides this security, but it has never been in a situation where people are traveling in the way that he is, as political as he is, and he is benefiting from it political, but the taxpayers of the state of Texas are getting nothing out of this, nothing. And so he owes us. He ought to write us a check.
Yeah, he wrote in his first book that he believes that homosexuality is the same as alcoholism, and now his campaign is not responding to questions about that. Will the social issues in the forefront of a general election come back to haunt this guy, or will they embolden his campaign?
I think that they've got to go full tilt, fast forward, and put their blinders on and stick with what he has said in this regard. In his first book about the Boy Scouts, he was talking about how the Boy Scouts were under attack from homosexual activists and atheists, and he's going to continue to take these positions. They'll probably hurt him in the general election, but as you've seen in the polls, he continues to do very well in the primary with people who believe like he does.
Yeah. Well, you know, he hasn't broken away. I mean, you have to look at Mitt Romney still within striking distance. His inability to break away from the pack in the past month, does that show some vulnerability?
I think he took a hit in the last debate. I think he was not very poised, Ed. He was a little bit off balance, and I think those numbers have reflected in a slight drop. But I think what Rick has shown historically is that he can take it, and he doesn't look back. He doesn't look in either direction. He's decisive, and he gets out there and he tells people what he believes. And eventually, people come back to him. I think his numbers will continue to go up, and I think Romney's will go back down.
Huffington Post contributor Jim Moore, always a pleasure. Great to have you on the Ed Show. Coming up in my playbook, President Obama wants to fix the nation's roads and bridges. Republicans are still saying no. So the president's taking the fight to Boehner's district, Mitch McConnell's district, their home states. Stay with us.